would you look at that? It's Tuesday again.
Yes, it is. It's the last Tuesday before Christmas.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Amber.
And this is a special holiday episode of
True Crime and Chill.
I'm so glad this year is almost over. Like, so glad.
Yeah, this was on many accounts a dumpster fire of a year.
So, I mean, it did give us a chance to look back on some of the things that we value.
And it gave us a chance to start our podcast.
It did. Yes. Okay, so we do still have one more episode to bring you this year. Okay. No clue what it's going to be yet. I'm picking that one out. It'll be great. Finger guns. But we still want to take a minute and just thank absolutely everybody for your amazing support, your thoughtfulness, and friendship through all this.
Yes, we do. We have found such wonderful people and new friends through all of this, and we are truly grateful to everyone who takes the time to listen to us and provides their feedback.
Even if you all aren't so nice about it.
It's all a learning experience, right? Mm-hmm. We especially appreciate those of you who stuck with us while we were finding our voice, which, I mean, we still are, but we're a lot closer now.
Okay, so back on topic. Are we doing a Christmas episode this year?
Of course we are. The holidays are a well-known time for depression and other mental health issues. And while many are in high spirits and focus on time spent with loved ones, true crime still happens. Today's case is still unsolved and involves a woman discovered dead and blood-stained Christmas gifts in her boyfriend's abandoned truck. This is the story of Latricia White.
Can we do the disclaimer first?
Of course.
Okay, cool. We're not investigators, behavioral analysis experts, detectives, Santa Claus, or Krampus.
Nope. Just simply fans of true crime, just like you.
And that means sometimes we're going to get things wrong, especially in cases like this one where it is unsolved. Speculations may fly and might be wrong or unpopular opinions. If you don't agree, that's fine. Just turn us off and move along.
Yeah, but if you do like what you hear, scroll on down, leave us a like. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you can get our latest episodes.
Yay. Okay. Also, if you're feeling inclined, we could use some more reviews on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on.
And if you're ever curious about where we get our information, we always post our case notes, sources, and credits on our website, truecrimeandchill.com.
Yay. Okay. All right. Now that's done, let's get on with it.
Let's get to it. Latricia White, while living with her longtime trucker boyfriend, Lee Dub Wackerhagen, they had been residing together in Lockhart, Texas for about 6 months when Christmas rolled around. To set the scene, Dub was well known to have a temper and a jealous streak, always wanting to know where Latricia was at all times.
Of course he did.
It is reported that Dub and Latricia fought often, and Dub has been described as jealous and abusive. His ex-wife, Gay Williams, has said that she was afraid of him. She has been quoted as saying, quote, "I saw that he was a good man when I met him, and when I left him, I was scared to death of him. He had a temper. He treated my oldest boy terribly, and I was scared." Latricia was 38 and was recently divorced in November of 1993. On December 17th, 1993, Dub's son from his previous marriage, 9-year-old Chance Wackerhagen, came to stay with Latricia and Dub for a few days. Gail and Dub had divorced in 1990. Chance's mother had full custody, but she often allowed Chance to stay with Dub for a few days at a time.
I mean, I can understand that. As much as we love our kids, sometimes a break is nice.
Oh, man. Agreed. On December 23rd, 1993, Latricia and Dub had a reported blowout fight after Chance left the kitchen faucet on. The fight was so severe that Dub and Chance left Latricia's place for a couple of days, but returned by Christmas. Chance's mother spoke to Chance on the phone on Christmas. She said he sounded happy and asked to stay with his dad for a few more days, to which Gay agreed. On December 26th, Latricia, Dub, and Chance were spotted eating at a restaurant, and everyone seemed happy and content.
I mean, it seems like with a relationship like this, fights would happen out of nowhere.
I think that happens with anybody at any time in any relationship. Yeah. You can be having a great morning and by lunch ready to break things at each other. So Latricia was a nurse, and on December 27th, she was due at work. She didn't show up. This raised some pretty serious red flags with her coworkers and her father. Latricia's father, Jack, is quoted as saying, "Everyone was concerned about Latricia because she hadn't gone to work on Monday, and she never fails to go to work or at least call."
As is often the case. I mean, they're always the ones that are punctual and on time and would never miss a day.
Right. Although I think most people are like that. There's just a select few that are,
See,
I don't know.
with me not having a job right now, I feel like I could probably be dead for a few days and people wouldn't really notice because I really don't check it.
For the record, I would notice.
I mean, yeah, after like because we do talk almost every day now. But before...
Life happens, man. So Jack, Latricia's dad, went to her home to check on her, and nothing seemed out of place, and it was all very peaceful. That is, however, until he reached the bedroom where he found her. She had been murdered. She had 6 shots to the head with a .22 caliber rifle, presumably while she was sleeping, since she was in bed under the covers. Reports show that she had been dead approximately a full day by the time her father discovered her. The scariest thing found at the scene was a small footprint in Latricia's blood, presumably belonging to Chance.
So you're telling me that this poor kid probably witnessed her murder?
I don't know. Nobody really knows.
Okay, even seeing her body with like all of that, like even if it was a child-sized footprint, I highly doubt there'd be another child in the house. Like,
right.
Did they ever find Dub?
Considering their history, and most notably his history of argumentative behavior, he became the top suspect on the list, and it was assumed that Chance was at the scene of the crime because of the child-sized footprints, and he, like his father, was missing. Police issued a warrant for Dub's arrest.
Okay, so I don't even know. Like, I don't even. It takes a lot of balls to not only kill your girlfriend, but do it in front of your kid. Like, totally knowing that like your kid might be a witness and stuff, because he's 9 years old. If they were caught, then he could definitely be brought forward for trial and stuff like that. And what are you gonna do? Kill your child? Like, unless it was like something that like I don't even know. Like, I don't. Obviously, the police thought that he had done something to her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put a warrant out for his arrest. They would have just put hey, keep an eye out for these people. They are missing and possibly endangered.
This was also 1993, and they did things a little differently.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, it's kind of like a... Well, obviously, they thought that there was something there.
Yeah.
So...
Police searched for Dub and Chance, thinking that Dub might have abducted Chance after murdering Latricia. After 3 long days, on December 30th, Dub's green 1986 Ford pickup truck was located. It had been abandoned on the side of the road in Austin, Texas, about 30 miles from Latricia's apartment. In the truck were Dub's wallet, checkbook, and a hunting rifle. It had not been fired. In the back of the truck were Christmas presents, some of them unopened, and the Christmas presents were covered in blood, believed to be Latricia's. The blood was rushed to the lab to confirm the police's suspicions that it was Latricia's.
And was it?
Nope. The blood did not belong to Latricia White. Police were unable to conclusively determine who the blood belonged to because of the lack of DNA technology at the time. But according to Sheriff Mike Batting, and I may be saying that wrong, of the Caldwell County Sheriff's Department, quote, "Initially in the investigation, we felt that this blood could have come from our victim. That was later ruled out. The blood type was not the same as our victim. So we feel that someone else was injured. Not seriously, but someone else was injured."
So I'm assuming that they don't have any of it left, any of that DNA left to test now, if the case is still unsolved.
We're going to get there. I think they did, but there was nothing about whether or not the case was reopened in 2016. So we're going to get to that. They don't say why it was reopened, but I imagine it's probably because they were able to test the blood.
So obviously, if they were able to conclude that the blood type did not match the victim, then were they able to match it to like Dub or his son to see if like the blood type matched that?
It was inconclusive whether it belonged to Dub or Chance.
Okay.
So now police had two possible options. Either Dub had murdered Latricia and kidnapped Chance, or Dub and Chance fell victim to the same killer or killers of Latricia. In early 1994, a few months after Latricia's murder, O.P. Williams received a call. O.P. was the father of Gay and the grandfather of Chance Wackerhagen.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of the line, a little boy's voice said, "Help me," before the phone was slammed down. O.P. maintains that it was Chance Wackerhagen who called him. This, unfortunately, could never be confirmed. From here, the trial went cold. Dub and Chance have never been found, dead or alive, and there has been no trace of them. Gay Williams has maintained that Dub would never hurt Chance, and Dub also has no prior criminal record.
Okay, but just because somebody has no prior criminal record does not mean that they are not capable of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like you can't be like, oh yeah, this person like totally didn't do anything because you just can't. You can't base this off, oh hey, that person has no prior criminal record. Okay, like I could go out and kill somebody today and I have no prior criminal record. People look at me and be like, what the hell? Like, you don't look like the type of person who could do that, but I could. And like I feel like if Dub was the one who did it, then obviously maybe like in a fit of rage he realized that Chance was there and he realized like he had a witness and he may not have meant to hurt his kid, but he did anyways. Because I really feel like there's that option, like they were both targeted by the same person who killed Latricia. But at the same time, why leave her body and not theirs?
Right.
Like it just brings up this whole thing, because I feel like if Dub had killed her and then gone into hiding with Chance, like they would have been found by now. Like this little boy's got like I'm looking at a picture of him and he's like blonde hair, blue eyes, like you can definitely like this dude's got like, and then like his dad's got like
he looks mustache. Like a trucker.
Yeah, the mustache, like it's very noticeable. Like you would definitely be able to tell who he is, even if he tried to change like their appearance and stuff.
There are a few theories that we'll get to in the end, but let's keep on because there's more information.
Yeah.
In 2016, the police announced that the case was being reopened, and they suspect Dub and Chance were both victims of foul play. They believe that Latricia was killed by someone close to her, and that her murder was a crime of passion by someone who knew one or more of the victims. Quote, investigators found nothing in the home appeared to be missing and believed that this murder was most likely a crime of passion committed by someone closely associated to one or more of the victims, said the Department of Public Safety on May 11th, 2016. In early 2017, Gay Williams reached out to the YouTube channel of Kaylee Elise, who did a video on the case. Gay stated that she had been in contact with law enforcement, specifically the new officer on the case who looked at everything from the beginning. He told her that he found a lot of discrepancies in the original investigation, and he had evidence that both Chance and Dub were dead and had been killed by the same person who killed Latricia.
Okay, so pause for a second. Kaylee Elise, I have to give some shout outs to her before I go into anything, because I've actually listened to a lot of her stuff and I've like watched a lot of her stuff on YouTube, and she's absolutely phenomenal. I love her. I love her stuff. I think she's absolutely amazing and stuff, but I totally didn't realize that she actually did a case on this, because like I just listened to her here and there now. But so fantastic. I'm actually going to go listen to her stuff on this afterwards too. But back to the case. Like it had to have been, whether or not Dub did it or not, whether or not it was Dub that did it or whether it was somebody else that did it, because I'm not saying that he didn't do it, because I'm not going to sit here and say and completely rule it out just because he's missing. But whether or not he did it or somebody else did it, she was shot 6 times in the head. Okay, that's not like somebody coming in and, oh, I'm robbing this house and you scared me because I didn't expect anybody to be home. Oh, I shoot you and you're dead or whatever. That's I hate you, and I really want to make sure that you're not going to get back up from that ground. Like,
right.
That's pretty severe.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And again, we kind of get into that in the theories. So shall we get into the theories?
Yes.
All right. Theory number one is, of course, the simplest explanation, which is often the best explanation. And the simplest explanation would be that this is a case of domestic violence partnered with Dub thinking he'd never see Chance again if he got caught. So he took off with his son. And unfortunately, domestic violence is way, way too common.
Yep.
But now, 27 years after the crime, there's no trace of Dub and Chance, and they have never been found.
See, again, like I said before, if he had really taken off with him and they were living, they would literally have to move to a different country.
Mhm.
And I mean, granted, it was back in the early 90s. So it probably could have been easier to like go to Canada or something and stuff and like just chill out in Canada. But at the same time, Chance was what, 9? I think you said?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like he was a baby. It's not like he would grow up and be completely unaware. Like he knows who his mom is. He knows like
Right.
what his dad did. He knows why they were living there. And it's like, even though he'd be 9 years old and yeah, his mind would be easy to mold, it's still like a, oh God, what is it? It's still like a,
He would still have memories at 9.
yeah, he would
So
still have all these memories.
he was born about 6 months, just shy of 6 months after I was.
Yeah.
So he was born the same year, and he'd be 36 right now.
Exactly.
But I still have memories from when I was 9, from when I was 7, from when I was 5. But then again, sometimes traumatic experiences block themselves out of your brain.
Yes, that is very true.
We have talked about that in previous episodes. Which brings us to the second theory, which I think is possible, but not the most probable, which is a double murder-suicide by Dub, which comes down to, again, could he have been so angry at Latricia that he killed her? Latricia was sleeping when she was murdered, so if her death was a reaction to a fight between her and Dub, he would have had time to cool off after the fight while she fell asleep. It was not a heat-of-the-moment murder. But as we said before, it was clearly a crime of passions because 6 shots to the head is, by all definitions, overkill. Just like when we talked about Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander, she stabbed him, 27 times in the back?
Oh my God, yeah. Then she tried to be like, oh, he attacked me.
Sure. 27 times is overkill. Plus, after he died, she dragged him back into the shower. So,
right?
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's reported that the killing was gruesome, and clearly the person who did it would have hated Latricia. And then there's Chance. Why would Dub, who by all accounts loved Chance, let Chance witness the murder? I couldn't imagine anything worse for a young child to see. It also sickens me to think that Dub would murder Chance. Dub could have taken Chance back to Gay, his mother. Of course, we know that sometimes abusers think, if I can't have him, no one can. And Dub may have killed Chance because he didn't want Chance to go back to Gay. Yeah. But we have to think, in what manner could he have killed himself and Chance that no trace of the bodies has turned up? We know that he had a hunting rifle in his car, but the rifle wasn't used. And it was unknown if he had other guns.
I mean, okay, so here's my thing. Is like, they were in Lubbock, Texas, okay? Like, that's... Oh, God. I'm actually looking this up right now because I want to make sure I say this correctly. I actually have a friend who's from Lubbock, actually. So that's pretty cool. But, because I want to see, like, how far this is before I say something. But, because if I think it is if it's where I think it is, Lubbock, yeah. So, Lubbock is like if you're looking at Texas, it's like in that part that's up between Oklahoma and New Mexico and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, it's in that area right there. So, I mean, this guy could have easily, like, had extra guns. Again, it's Texas. How many people down there have guns that we don't know? Like, how many people have guns that aren't registered? It is Texas, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
This guy could have easily killed Chance. Mm-hmm. Okay, like, get rid of the witnesses, killed Chance, and then dipped out and went somewhere else in either the U.S. or Canada, but hid Chance's body. Like, somewhere. Because it's like, how many bodies are out there that aren't found? Like, it's really easy to hide a body and not have it be found and stuff. If you really try hard enough, it's really easy.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, honestly, like I like want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, like maybe like they fell victim to this killer that killed his girlfriend and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I don't believe that they did. I don't believe that he did. I really don't. I really don't think that he felt. I really think that homeboy killed his girlfriend in fit of rage, killed his kid, and then just disappeared in the night. I really do. And if it comes back that both of them are dead and that his body is found, I will eat my words. I really will. You know I will. But
I know you will.
For right now, like, I'm leaning more towards the theory that he actually did something, because
I have my ideas on a theory, and it's the last one we're going to talk about. But
did she have any other people that, like,
we're going to get there,
would kill her?
Well, the third theory is that it could be that Latricia was killed to get back at Dub, in which case it would explain the disappearance of Dub and Chance. Considering that Dub had a temper and a well-known ability for arguments, it's possible it was someone who did it to get back at him. So this was a person or persons who murdered Latricia and took Dub and subsequently Chance, because Chance was supposed to go back to his mother's on Christmas but didn't. So it's possible that someone thought this would be an opportunity since he wasn't supposed to have Chance anymore.
But I mean, okay, but like, who would Dub have pissed off enough to want to get back at him?
It's Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, I know I have lots of friends in Texas. I have lots of people who love Texas.
I know, and I used to live in Texas, and I love Texas, and it's great, but
there is a, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a big state.
A stereotype, and it is there for a reason.
It's a big state. All
right, so the next theory is that it was Dub's father. Dub's father committed suicide in 1999, so he is no longer available to answer questions.
That's suspicious.
Well,
That's
it's possible
weird.
his suicide was just a reaction to the loss of his son and grandson, but there could be something more notorious behind it.
That's suspicious.
Oh,
That's weird.
Bit. Yeah, it is a little bit.
Like,
I
get it. Like,
7 years, 6 years.
I get it. Like, losing your son and your grandson is a terrible thing. It really is. Like,
yeah,
it's a terrible thing. However, you said what, 6 years after? Yeah, it was like 6 years after, and it's like, I would understand like the year after, or like maybe 2 years after, but 6 years after,
right?
Like, at that point, you're kind of wondering, like, okay.
Right. The final theory I want to present, and it's the one that I think I'm leaning towards, and it's that it was Latricia's ex-husband. They were only divorced for a month, and they were in the middle of a custody battle when she died.
Well, was he abusive?
See, in trying to learn more about Latricia's ex-husband, I fell pretty short. The details about him are rare, like ridiculously rare. So Latricia and her ex had 2 children, whom I'm guessing lived with her ex-husband because they are never mentioned to be living with her. But her living situation is always described as her and Dub and Chance staying over sometimes. But she was a nurse, and that could be a contributing factor for this, as nurses often work long and abnormal hours, which could have made it difficult for her to care for her 2 children on her own.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, but I get it. Like, custody of like children could have been a possible motive, but at the same time, you have to know, like, anybody has to know that if you're, oh my God, if you kill the other parent, you're not going to get custody of your kid.
Only if you're caught.
Amber.
What?
Amber.
What?
But, like, if you kill the other parent, you're not going to get custody of your kid. But if this guy, and like I said, and again, I'm saying the same thing, you can't go based off of, like, what somebody is. But, like, if they weren't having any, like, bad blood, like, I'd understand if, like, there were reports of her and her ex-husband, like, fighting all the time over custody issues, and, like, her refusing to take them back, or him refusing to keep them with her, and blah, 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 and all that stuff or whatever, then I'd be more inclined to think that it might be him. But if there's really nothing that is going on to the point where it's like, okay, well, it seems like a pretty amicable agreement so far.
Nothing that was reported.
Yeah, that's true.
So the thing that's interesting to me, and again, there was really so little information about her ex-husband out there, which to me is also suspicious.
Yes and no. I mean, it was the 90s. It was really easy for people to live off the grid back then.
Yeah, it was. But the fact that they reopened the case and there's still so little information about him.
I mean, again, he might just keep to himself. Like,
it was said that Dub and Latricia, Latricia was Dub's longtime girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was a month divorced by the time this rolled around.
Yeah, but they could have been divorced, but separate. They could have been like still married, but separated.
Right, but for how long?
Because Texas, I believe, you have to be separated for 2 years before you can actually get a divorce.
Sure. There wasn't even anything about that.
So, I mean, they could have been living apart, separated, and Dub and Latricia could have been dating that entire time.
She also could have been cheating on her husband.
Yeah, that too. But I do know that in Texas you have to be, I think, separated for like a year or two.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hard to say because
that's definitely one theory that I don't think. That's definitely one theory that's very low on my list. Like, very, very low. Like, if it came out that he actually did something, then that'd be one thing. But like,
well, but when you consider that they had new evidence to say that both Dub and Chance were dead and they fell to this victim to the same killer of Latricia.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's possible that the blood that was in the back of the truck belonged to then Dub and Chance.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. But at the same time, like, it could...
but that would mean that Dub wasn't driving if he had blood in the back of the truck.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot of things in this case. Because, like, obviously the police aren't going to release a lot of information. It's kind of like, oh gosh. It's kind of like some of the other cases that we've done where, like, there's little to no information to go on because the police will not release information.
Right. Well, it's still open, technically.
Yeah.
So.
Like, it's kind of like Caitlin Aiken's case or Alyssa Turney's case and stuff. Like, Alyssa, like, her sister has been saying as much as she can, but now, like, she's kind of quiet on Twitter now and everything because, like, new stuff has come out and she can't really talk about it. Yep. And so it's...
And she's in the process of potentially getting justice for her. So
maybe
her biggest cry has been justice for Alyssa. And now that that's potentially in the process, it's like, what else do you say?
Yeah. So, but it's like, this is kind of like what it feels like. It's like, there's a lot more information that the police aren't putting out because it may point to somebody that would it may stop people from coming forward and be like, oh, I did this, but then them not actually doing it.
So now, so many years after this sad holiday murder, police are favoring a new theory that they now believe Dub and Chance were murdered by the same person or persons that killed Latricia. According to Gay, the police are in possession of evidence that proves that Dub and Chance are dead. There has been no elaboration, but I imagine it has something to do, like I said, with the blood in the back of the truck. I bet more advanced testing has been done on the blood, and I'm wondering if the testing has by now proven that both Dub and Chance's blood was in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Therefore, Dub could not have been driving the truck. Unfortunately, the police have not publicly stated what has pointed them in this new direction. If Dub and Chance were also murdered that night, then how did it all happen? We know that small child-sized footprints were found in the blood, so it's easy to say that Chance was at the crime scene, but there were no signs of any other disturbance. Did the killer murder Latricia while Dub and Chance were out and waited for them to find the body? Could Dub and Chance have been taken out of the house without a struggle, possibly at gunpoint? Perhaps the killer got Dub to comply by threatening Chance. If all three were murdered, then who is the real target? Could Latricia have been merely collateral damage? Although being shot 6 times in the head seems unlikely that it was anybody else. But were Dub and Chance injured and forced into the back of Dub's truck with no one noticing? And then, what happened? Could they have been taken in another vehicle or on foot to a second location where they were killed and buried? We still don't know the full story of what happened on December 27th, 1993. Kingsville Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of as much as $5,000 for information about the whereabouts of Chance, who was living in Kingsville at the time of his disappearance. Investigators are asking anyone with information to call 1-877-553-2374. Tips may also be submitted online to Kingsville Crime Stoppers or through the Texas Rangers Cold Case website.
Thank you for listening to True Crime and Chill. For more information, including case notes, photos, and sources, please visit our website at truecrimeandchill.com. You can also stay connected with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Look for new episodes from us each week on Tuesday.